right, everyone. It's the PatientHodler and Chris Coffey coming at you with our very first live stream here together. And yeah, we can see that you have been waiting already. My bad. I had some technical issues, and then I also mixed up the time zones so that Chris had to hurry. But here we are for you, and some people were already waiting in the lobby. So welcome to the PatientHodler channel, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's okay on the time. We originally established like an hour after this, but because I'm usually live on the company that I work for, and so I just jumped right off that onto this. So here I am.
So if Chris has to check his phone or so during this time, that would be then due to this rescheduling from his side. So very cool. I probably mixed up because you said what's Central Time do you have, and calculating from Germany with the time zones is just difficult. But
yeah, I understand. It's all good. Yeah.
Just let me throw out a little disclaimer before we dive into our topics here and let the audience get to know you a little bit better. But just so you all know, and you know the drill, it's not financial advice. Anything that we are saying here is only for educational purposes. You're performing your own research before you ape into Veve collectibles or into the OMI token or whatever other investment opportunity that we have here for you. So yeah, with that said, Chris, most of the people might probably know you as your channel is way bigger than my channel, but nevertheless, I really want to quickly show that you have a channel. So please, guys, if you are not subscribed yet, head to his channel. He has actually put out a video on the very recent topic as well that we are going to talk about here in a brief moment. And yeah, subscribe, tap the bell. You know it's going after the stream or
Thank
during
you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Too. Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, and also we got the homie Omi Clown with a little tip here, promoting the red circle. Always good to see Omi the Clown here from the Ecomi Wiki.
Essential to the community. Omi the Clown's been here for well over a year and has his own web platform that allows us to be able to track sales data and do a lot of other things. So he's absolutely essential.
Yeah, and the platform is amazing. So being subscribed there can actually give you an edge in the market, especially if you can sort by listing dates and whatever listing sizes in that app. And you see that some things are basically extinct from the market right now. Yeah, but with that, let's get a little bit to you. And we have only talked a couple of minutes before the stream yesterday. So everything quite running. You told me that you are a coffee lover, a Veve investor, and you probably, I just assume that, hold some OMI tokens. So let us know what you do besides the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I run a coffee shop, a brick and mortar. So I do everything for that from the ground up. I was an employee there before I bought it. Bought it in my like early to mid 20s, which I'm only 27 now. I had to take out a loan, obviously, to buy it. I roast the coffee for it still. I plan on one of my goals with the content as well is the more I grow, the more I can grow my online coffee business because I roast and ship bags. Unfortunately, right now, just to the US. So I've been doing that for a while. I like good coffee. And I like offering people a good product. So that's, one of my goals. I feel like mid to long term is to kind of correlate like my online presence as well with my coffee sales. Because people like coffee and I like roasting coffee. So I do that. I work almost full time in Web3. So I work for a company, an NFT company that has like their own NFT and their own app, and I run their talk show. So we basically go over the latest NFT news and everything that's going on in the market, and we interview some of the best traders in the world, NFT traders, weekly. So I do that Monday through Thursday, consistently. So I do that I say part time, but I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time because it's not just the interview, but it's like getting all the details sorted out every single day, being constantly plugged into the market, which can be really draining of like what the news is, what's going on, all that stuff. So, I mean, it takes up a lot of my time. So yeah, like right now, my main things is I flip. Like I'm a trader myself in Veve and in the other NFT market. I work for a Web3 company. I own a coffee shop. I run and roast and do everything for that shop. I do the books and all that fun stuff. And I run my own YouTube channel that I'm still constantly trying to grow, trying to get better, trying to provide better content, better quality content. And I probably got and I'm a full-time father. My wife and I. So yeah, that's fun. I got 2 under 2. For the dads out there, I know Omi the Clown is one of them. It's a lot of work. I mean, that takes up more time than anything. Everything I just named combined for sure is being present in my girl's life, you know. So trying to be a present father.
Wow. So you are an entrepreneur, a father, a digital or a Web3 native, and you're running your YouTube channel while building e-commerce. That's very impressive. And because many people that I speak to, they say I'm a father and that's it. Basically, besides that, they don't have time.
Yeah, that's all you need, though, man. I mean, shout out to the fathers out there, brother. It's a lot. it's a lot, but I love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, shout out to the fathers. I'm not a father yet, but hopefully I will be some days.
Awesome.
And yeah, absolutely amazing. Actually, maybe you can, going back to the coffee thing quickly, just a little personal flavor maybe. What is your favorite style of coffee? Do you like more soft, nuanced coffee or a strong one? Are you more the espresso? What's your coffee, your favorite one?
Sure. I'm almost done with it, so it's not a good example, but I drink a cold brew almost every day. Cold brew is basically just like I mean, it's cold coffee, but it's made differently than like putting like drip coffee over ice, because it's made to like hold the consistency of like the whole flavor profile instead of like if you dumped hot coffee over ice, it would like water it down, obviously. But there's less acid in cold brew. I struggle with acid reflux, which like is just like kind of like right here, you know. So cold brew is less harsh on that. It has enough caffeine content that like kicks me through the day, you know, every day. So cold brew is usually my go-to. I like double shots of espresso. I love, you know, just the nuance of flavors and double shots. And I'll get like one sweet drink a week. Like I'll usually get something crazy once a week. You know, my shop, we recently did a Stranger Things drink. Are you familiar with Stranger Things?
Yeah, actually, I watched the first episode with my girlfriend, and she didn't like it. So I have that still on my waiting list for the days. I see everyone going crazy about Stranger Things, but not having watched besides the first episode.
Yeah, well,
you made
you have like 50 hours to go. Yeah, we made an upside down drink, which is like a upside down macchiato. And we used purple. We dyed our milk purple, obviously using food safe dye. Put some raspberry in it for like a blood effect. Wow. So I like, you know, making unique stuff like that just for fun a lot too. But I'll go crazy once a week with some kind of unique drink.
Let me just grab something because we are at the coffee thing that I wanted to show you. Just didn't get it here. I got so I have lived in Brazil, and I got myself this for some one day. Nice. Putting that above the coffee machine actually, so that I have I mean, it's English. I should get one that actually is in Portuguese, but yeah, I had to think about this one when we talked about coffee first. So is there anything that you can tell people? How can they already get your online products? Is there any site to go to? Can they already order? Or
yeah, I have a website. I don't use it a whole lot. I would like to eventually advertise it more. I just kind of want to put more on it. But yeah, it's hiddengroundsla.com. I can send it to you over private chat.
Yeah, sure.
And you should be able to buy it from there. But the reason I don't promote it too much is because I don't know if like it will allow you outside the US to buy it. And if so, I don't want to like somebody outside the US to buy it and then us have to go through the refund process. I need to like it be more clean. But yeah, hiddengroundsla.com. That's the name of my shop, is Hidden Grounds LA. So that's where I sell my coffee from.
Okay, so this is only for a US resident for now, correct?
Yeah, it's only for US for now. I was talking about going to London Decon, and so that's my roaster, that's my hand, and that's my shop.
That's the same. Yeah.
Here's a little bit a little bit more about me, you know. So that's the shop and everything. That's how my bags look, and that's how our little mugs look. So
Yeah,
if you see that
great.
right there, you see on the back how it says Ethiopia Yirgacheffe. So like that's where the coffee is from. On that one particularly, it was the flavor notes were honeysuckle, lemon, and floral. That transitions a lot because I buy coffee from a lot of different sources. So I'll have to change the flavor notes. And I also, a lot of times I'll even cup the coffee, I'll taste it, I'll get the flavor notes, and I'll create the flavor profile on my own. So thankfully I live like a couple hours away from New Orleans, which is like the United States hub for like good food, good coffee and everything. And they have like coffee associations in New Orleans. And it allows me to kind of be plugged in some of the best culture that I can be plugged in as far as good food and good coffee goes.
Oh, amazing. So I figured this is because it says LA, it's in LA. So if someone is from there, they can get a coffee at your store.
Yeah, actually stands for Louisiana, not Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the reason I had to do that is because I didn't realize until afterwards that there was another Hidden Grounds in New Jersey. So I didn't want to market it as just Hidden Grounds. I wanted to market it as like a specific location. Even though they didn't buy the patent to it, I probably could have, but I just didn't. I just don't have to change the name.
So if you are from the US, make sure you check that one out.
Cool, man. Thanks for the shout out.
We
Yeah,
got
I love
our
coffee.
own Omi Vivi crew coffee there. So we got another tip here from Ecomi Skywalker. Keep up the good work, HODLER.
Nice.
Thank you, man, for the tip. And actually, Ecomi Skywalker is the guy who donates at all the channels. And I found him basically because he donated to BitBoy channel.
Oh, wow.
And because and asked them about the Ecomi token, and they basically had no clue about the Omi token and
That's
stuff
awesome.
like that.
Yeah.
So Ben
Spreading the good
Armstrong has
news.
been, but he was off to holidays. So yeah.
Spreading the good news of Omi. I love it. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we should get to the good stuff here.
Sure.
Not that your coffee is not the best stuff, but this is the good stuff about our investments and about Ecomi and Vivi. And you have, I think your last 4 or 5 videos on your channel are all about the gems and the Vivi in-app stuff. And you already told me that you're not covering too much the Omi token at the moment. And you got, before we start even, let's get with another message to you from Ecomi Skywalker. So yeah, also subscribe to Chris. Love your vids, awesome. Man. Yeah, the videos are really, really good.
Thank you.
So, well, I saw these videos, and I think we could cover some of these topics right now. And maybe we start with the new, let's say the banger announcement of the day.
Yeah, man.
Which is the change of the TOS. And I have pulled them up here. And then let's just read them for everyone, because probably many people have not. I hope this is visible for everyone. So I'm going to quickly read those. Gems may only be purchased through our services. That was clear. I think that was there before. But you may not purchase, sell, or otherwise agree to the transfer of gems off market. For example, you may not make or accept payment for gems outside the Vivi app where the gems are transferred by way of the sale of a collectible in the market. So we all know the Mermicorno transfers, the Toby transfers, what was your video? The Cryptkin, the 10K Cryptkin?
Yeah, Cryptkins is a popular one.
Yeah, so the Cryptkin gem transfer. Evidence engaging in off-market gem transactions will include repeated sales and or purchases of collectibles at significantly higher value than what would be expected for such collectible based on current market prices. So that's their indicator. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, I made my video on it earlier, and I gave my full thoughts on it there. I mean, it's definitely going to have some type of implication. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. We can speculate all day until it happens, but a lot of people are going to be affected by this. I don't know if there's any way to actually like know how many people were doing this. If I had to throw a number out there, I would say 30% of users probably buy their gems off app. I don't, but I don't say that as like a statement to like, oh, look at me, I'm, don't. I just never have, man. Like I flip a lot. That's no, I've been open with that. I've flipped a lot in Veve, so I haven't put more into the app in a long time because I flip for what I have. But also every time I did need to buy some, I just bought through the app out of laziness and convenience. I have nothing against off-app transfers. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to affect the market, because like I was kind of originally bearish, and I probably still am. Like, let's take Walt, for example. I don't know. Let's assume Walt's at 8K right now. He could be a little bit different. I've always looked at it as like, if somebody's buying 8K worth of gems for 4,000, then the paper price of Walt would be closer to 4,000 than it would be 8,000 if that's what people are paying for it. Does that make sense? So like, it makes me a little bit bearish when like now people aren't getting 0.5, 0.6 rates. So will prices reflect? And they might not. They might not move. And if that's the case, then props to everyone who bought off-app gems, got them for discounts, and now the prices don't reflect. But I just see the off-app gems being a great way for whales to load up and buy a significant amount of gems consistently. And they'll still be able to do that on the app, but obviously not get as good deals. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I wanted to outline one implication that this has, and that is that off-app gem purchases are now officially against the TOS. So that means that if you are doing that, since it's written in the TOS, technically you can get banned for it. And I have seen firsthand what it means if your account gets banned. Actually, not firsthand because it was not my account, but almost everyone that watches my channel knows about the history of my cousin that has his account lost to whatever mechanic that we still couldn't figure out. And so don't get caught in this. Better safe than sorry. So my completely not financial advice, but advice and behavior would be not to pursue off-app gem transfers anymore, not even with these new techniques. That's the first point. The second point is that the date that this appeared in the TOS is apparently the 4th of July. So that means everything that you did since then could technically already be within these regulations. I hope they do not act upon those regulations until they did an announcement, an official one, that the TOS changed. But we all know that Veve is not very good at communicating certain things, in at least sometimes. So that's my first take on it. And other than that, what you said, or going back to your point, with the gem cycling, we have seen that that whales did load up a lot, and some whales got caught in the cybercrime investigation around fraudulent gems. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you probably have made contact, or you at least know some of these whales as well, that have still waiting for any notice on their account, even though it was not in the TOS at that point of time. But obviously, if you have cybercrime of whatever country investigating your company and your transfers, then that's a problem. With regards to uploads, I think that they can use now the app, the web app, to do that and to upload easily. But yes, the conditions are obviously not so good anymore. With regards to why they did it, maybe this goes along with, they want to have the value of the gems at $1, right?
Yes.
So what do you think? Is this more a thing on how they look, like how they look on the outside? Is this more a thing on for their licensors, or is this a security measure? What do you think?
I think it's a security measure or some type of legal measure that they're having to take. You know, they always talk about how New Zealand is so strict about laws. I don't know the laws in New Zealand, nor do I know like what goes on behind the scenes about this type of stuff. But I see it pure. I don't see this being a decision that Veve strictly made, but somebody who, some regulatory or some security made for them. I do want to point out too, I didn't talk about this in my video, just highlight that it says engaging in off-market gems transactions will include repeated sales and or purchases of collectibles. So when it says repeated, I don't want to like say this out of confidence and then like I might get banned. But I think if you sell like a special mint or like a low mint, because a lot of people are asking about that, you know, at a high price, I don't think that's going to flag you. I think it's going to be more so like if you do that a lot, like they're going to eventually flag your account as, okay, this person's probably dealing gems, probably buying a lot of gems off market or selling a lot of gems off market. But I think it's got to be like more than just like one time, because it literally says repeated. But again, I don't want to say that publicly and then somebody like do it one time and then get get banned for it. That's why there's like a little asterisk right there. But it does make me wonder, you know, like some mints just mean something to people and maybe they're not even popular. Like if you were born in 1983 and you buy that 1983 mint, it might not mean anything to most people, but to you, you might be willing to pay a premium for it. So I don't see those things getting flagged. I think it's more of like a consistent random amounts over and over again that are getting flagged.
Yeah. This is actually a great information, because I was asking myself if that would already be a problem and if we have to be scared now if we do such a thing, because we know, for example, that numbers mean a lot in Asia. We know that their strategy is going to Asia. And if you have, for example, these tiger stamp or so with a birth date that matches and then matches the year of the tiger for this, let's say, Chinese guy, that could be something that they would spend a significant amount of money on. And then it would be very bad to get banned. Or let's say you are a successful soccer player, you are Neymar, you're coming to the app because you have Batman tattooed on your back, Spider-Man, like Neymar really has, and you buy a special mint with your birth date to those tattoos for, let's really exaggerate, $300,000 or so. Yeah, that is something that they probably don't want the mechanism to strike. So very good thought here. You got another question here coming in before we continue here. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how bullish are you on Veve? Chris wants to know. Omi the clown.
Man, this is so layered, you know, like I am like very bullish on particular collectibles and comics. You know, like if we're asking about like the price of in-app items, like assuming, you know, like I'm very bullish on like particular ones, like on collectibles and comics. As a whole, I think most things could easily go up in the next bull run, but there could be some things that like not move ever again, but they'll be good for collectors that really like that. Does that make sense? So like as that goes, like I'm pretty bullish about specific collectibles and comics. More and more about comics, and I'm actually just now getting more and more into comics. As like the Omi token, it really depends on the buyback situation and how strong the OUP is. We'll get more information on OUP hopefully soon. If the OUP has a strong case, or if buybacks did not get canceled, which we still just don't really know yet, I think the Omi token is like a great bet. I mean, I hold, you know, a decent amount of Omi myself. I think for like the prices that it's at now, if they can really execute that OUP, it's just obviously nothing on this channel's financial advice. Like I think it's a good buy. My one pause for the Omi token has been the kind of like unknown buybacks, you know, and I'm sure you've thought a lot about that as well. So that's I haven't made recent content on Omi until they get more clarity on that, or until they come out with OUP, because at that point I just feel like I'm speculating a lot. So if I had to like give it a 1 out of 10, I don't know. I feel weird like laying an exact number on it, but like I'm still heavily invested in both in Veve and Omi. And if Veve executes everything that I feel like they could execute as a business, that's entering the Web3 space, that was kind of ahead of the curve on some things, Like I think that Veve could be massive. Like it could be one of the industry giants in the next few years. Now, as you know, like I work, I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole, but I do work for another NFT company and I do other NFT projects. Like I think Veve is going to be a competitor for like some of the largest projects out there. I don't think it's gonna be the only, hence like I'm very diversified. But I think it could be a, I don't know the correct word, a titan, you know, amongst the rest of the space if executed properly.
Mm. Yeah, even though he didn't ask my opinion, I will quickly give it. A number just from a feeling, I would give it an 11 because I feel very bullish. I FOMO into collectibles still, especially when I see things like a 1000 edition ultra rare with a Veve exclusive cover comic that sells for 15 gems or 19 gems or so. Then I get really then I get some FOMO anxiety.
Was that from Monday?
Sorry?
Was that from Monday, the Thor comic? Is that what you're referencing?
I don't know. Is the ultra rare selling so low of this one? I was speaking about
I didn't check. That's what I was asking.
There are several ultra rares that are selling for below 20 gems right now. And some of these covers are really, really good, really beautiful. So the one I had in mind is I don't even know which edition it is, but where this basically fortune teller or witch or so holds the skull. It's an ultra rare. It's a super beautiful cover art. I don't know if this is any valuable in as a comic in general, but so this is like super bullish for me. On the other hand, there are so many topics where I would give different numbers. So, for example, holding timelines, I would give a different number. Maybe giving out contradictory information to the community, I would give a different number, right? So there are many different topics where it's not so clear anymore. What I would give, but from a pure sentiment, I would give it an 11. Yeah.
Love it, love it. I stacked a couple of the uncommon Thor. I actually made that in a recent video as well because I just really like the art of the young Thor. And it looks like a secret rare cover with a white background, and it looks so nice. And I'm actually down on that right now, which I said this is either going to 2x or half. So I'm not like surprised. I'm not down a lot. I think I bought them for an average of 10 to 11, and it's at like 9 something right now. But I don't mind holding that for a while just because I thought it looked so cool.
Yeah, I think this one is great as well. I got that one on the drop, so I'm happy. We had one comment here that I want to quickly pull up because I wanted to comment on this, maybe you as well. It says here, or Sean Chaikin says, I just tried buying 800 gems in-app using the web app, and Veve says I have a 500 a week gem buying limit. This is horrible. I even tried reserving it and buying the gems that way and doesn't work. So yeah, you tried it on the web app or on the phone. Yeah, it's using the web app. So probably it's because of beta, or do you have any?
I don't know. I actually I don't want to like spread misinformation, but I do remember them putting a cap on how much gems you could buy per week. But I don't know. I don't remember the cap though. It doesn't personally affect me, so I wasn't looking into it as much. But I remember the first time they were like a while back, they were talking about the web app and like the future. They did put a buying limit on there, which scared me because I think the withdrawal limit was like what 50,000 a week, but the buying limit was like 500 a week or whatever it was. So I remember when I first saw those numbers, I was like, oh, this doesn't look too great because it's like only this much can come in and this much can go out. Of course, not everybody's going to be withdrawing 50,000, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they would do that. It doesn't really make sense, but maybe it's some kind of back end thing.
So I think my personal take on this is just because the whole issue about the anti-money laundering laws from New Zealand and maybe also from what's with other countries is not solved yet, which means that they don't want someone to load up 100,000 gems or so and maybe use still a loophole of cash out or whatever to refine money. So probably it's because of that, because in the end, this functionality should give bigger investors the opportunity to load up fiat, because even though it's unbelievable to crypto investors, but there are fiat whales out there. So yeah, maybe, or maybe it's being solved about via crypto.
Yeah, and I know that, you know, the recent clip of the last AMA where David was talking about making gems more rare, to where you would only be able to load them up if you need them to top off to buy a collectible. Like that's kind of the next, I feel like, thing that we're looking at. Hopefully not in the short term. Hopefully a little bit longer when we're able to buy more with crypto. But yeah, I think the main thing with this is exactly what you just said, just not wanting people to hold these massive amount of gems on the app, especially if people are still trying to use like poor method, like stolen credit cards and stuff to load them out.
Yeah. Yeah, also maybe something where credit card fraud can still be used, even with a web app or so, but which we have seen in the gem exploit. Yeah, so we had someone else here, and actually the clip that you talked about, I have it ready here to play for the people who just want to get into one or two other comments here. This is a more OMI related one, but it's important, I think, to address. Crypto Tony says, everyone is telling me to take my OMI off Bitforex. Do they know something I don't? And I think the answer to that, Crypto Tony, or at least part of the answer is, first of all, you have to make your own choices. So if everyone's telling you, it doesn't mean you have to, but
now get it off. Get it off. I would strongly advise you to get it off.
The truth is that it's safer to get it off in an environment where just today Voyager filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, where Three Arrows Capital defaulted on a $660 million loan to Voyager, where CoinFlex and Volt are basically going down with the burning ship, where what was it? Other lending platforms, I think it was
BlockFi, Celsius,
or so.
BlockFi and Celsius.
BlockFi, Celsius, although Celsius came out with better news that they had lowered the price of where there would be margin called on to I think $2,000 Bitcoin or so now. But still, there is a Lehman-like cascading effect going through the market, a shockwave that can end your deposits on any exchange today.
Yeah, a lot of these exchanges, including Celsius, is you actually, by using the exchange, you automatically sign a TOS, ironically, from the videos today. So we're basically saying that if stuff hits the fan and they go bankrupt, then you won't get your money out because the exchange controls your assets. And what's happening right now is the market is taking a huge hit, like the entire market, obviously. And so they're getting less trading fees. They have less trading fees, less volume. And guess what they did with your money that you lent them? They leveraged it. So they sold out your money to be leveraged in these markets. And they essentially lost your money, lost their money. They're going bankrupt and you can no longer get your coins out. So like the best thing to do about that is, the safest thing to do about that is get your stuff out of there, getting into a safe wallet. I have like 3 different cold storage wallets. Like I have 2 Trezors and 1 Ledger. Even like a MetaMask. The problem with MetaMask and Trust is that if you're not super careful, you could get your stuff phished. And there's a ton of ways to fall for fish. Yeah, Ledger. There's a ton of ways to fall for phishing links, which is like, that's why I don't like strongly advise that. But you know, at the end of the day, Bitforex could be safe and nothing could happen, or you could be the next headline. And I love the way Richard Hart originally said that. But like, you know, you could be the one that's like, ha, look at those people at Celsius. Ha, look at those people at BlockFi. Look at those people at Voyager. But now you're like, oh, now it's me. Give me my money back. I'm going to try to sue you. But like, come to find out, you're the one that gave your money and signed over your own assets. I do need to plug in my headset. I will be right back.
Yeah. And to that, I can already add that I completely agree. I didn't want to say in the beginning that it would be also my advice, or that it would be my advice to not listen to those people. I would just say, in the end, you have to make your own decision. But it's a high recommendation, like Chris said, from my side as well. Even whatever amount of APY is probably not worth anymore to leave a significant amount up for staking. So these exchanges, if they go down, they stop first the withdrawal function, and then they will tell you that they are going down. So we have seen that before. When the withdrawal denial basically comes in, it's too late. Yeah, and with that said, I think we did already say everything that is necessary for this one. Bitforest could be safe. You could be the next headline, as Chris said.
I liquidated my KuCoin as well, and I'm like a big believer in KuCoin. I think if KuCoin goes down, it's like really bad news. But just to be safe, I was holding KCS for over a year. I really liked KCS, which is KuCoin's native token, liquidated, just to be safe for now. You know, I'll buy more later if I need to, but yeah, it's just scary, you know, leaving out anything. I have money on Voyager. I have VGX. VGX like allows you to like get a pretty good APY on their platform, but I don't have a ton, so I wasn't too concerned about liquidating that and getting it off.
I think we will be all taught a lesson in this bear market. No matter what, I lost some money in Luna, not much. I just bought a little bit,
dang.
but and I made a video about.
You didn't buy while it was going down, did you?
Sorry?
You didn't buy while it was going down, did you?
Only a little gamble, like a $10 gamble.
Okay.
When it was low to see a actually there was a rebound that made it 400% up, not 400x, but 400%.
Yeah, that one bounce.
Yeah, but in the I didn't take profit quick enough, so I lost that as well. But it was overall it was somewhere around $200, so it's not too bad. And the lesson learned. So if I look back at it, I say at this point, man, $200, 3 important lessons learned. I covered them in a video.
Love it.
It could be worse, right? So we all have to learn by doing, because it's people told us, and still we did the errors that we did, or the mistakes that we did. So yeah, I think it's all. I think a big problem with the situation right now with the exchanges right now is that people are too lazy to order a cold wallet and then to do all the process of setting it up and then to transfer. Even though it's easy when you do it, I was also hesitating a long time before I really moved everything on the on my wallet. And there are some coins that are hard to move onto cold storage. So
yeah. It's hard for me to convince my wife to write down her passwords and not leave them on a device over writing down a 12 to 24 seed phrase. So like I totally get it. I mean, people just don't feel like it. I have like, dude, I have like close to 10 wallets. Like, it's crazy.
Let me just take a look here at yeah, this is a good thought from JTemp. Maybe you're limited on the gem in Flux until you have KYC, the uploading.
Yeah,
so maybe
possible,
because that actually makes a lot of sense also from a money laundering perspective.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree, that would make sense.
Okay, I'd like to see Ecomi smash out the secure wallets in bulk in this bear market, so everyone can store their tokens on those and off exchanges. I don't know what that means actually. Do you understand that one?
Yeah, so like the Ecomi has their own cold storage wallet. So basically what Russ is saying is they just want them to like be able to sell those to anybody who wants them. I say just get a ledger, honestly. Like ledgers are amazing. They're reputable. Man, I'm really weird about security. Like, I'm really safe, and like obviously like I trust Ecomi, but I would still buy a ledger even if I could buy the Ecomi wallet, just because like I don't know who their manufacturers are. I don't know like enough social advocates to say that nobody's been rugged. I don't know. Like, I don't want to spread FUD over their own thing, but like I go for very reputable brands. So I'm gonna go for Ledger on as far as like a cold storage goes. But I mean, I don't know. There's probably benefits to getting the Ecomi secure wallet, but why not just get a Ledger if you can get a Ledger?
Yeah, I agree. And it was, in the end, it was easy to use, and there are a lot of cool guys in the community that made videos on how to move. There's Veve Fox, there's Foster. I probably add one more video to this
Kyle
because
Wilson.
Kyle Wilson. I think he was the first to do it.
I think he was the first to do it. Yeah, I think he was the first to do it. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That would make sense.
Yeah, Kyle Wilson. Ah, okay. I don't know the order. I just looked at
Oh
those
yeah,
videos also for advice. So yeah, whoever was the first, congratulations. And
that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. I was just saying shout out to Kyle because he did it a while back.
yeah, no, I also didn't meant it how it came out. I just said there's really good resource because I looked at these videos to get it done. Genuine says Chapter 11 bankruptcy restructuring happening. Voyager will become back strong. I don't know because the restructuring of this needs to restructure around at least this $660 million default of lost assets of 15,000 Bitcoin, $350,000 in USDC stablecoin. So whatever you restructure, you have to kind of cover this to be able to get back to zero, right? So I don't know the US laws, so I'm from Germany.
That's a gamble I might play though, to be honest. I don't know enough to say like to be super confident in this, but if I had to like pick like a degen play with crypto, like I like Voyager. I've used Voyager. They're a good company. They write newsletters. I like their structure. I like their APY. Like I like a lot of things about Voyager. So like it might be worth, buying some VGX during the. I'm sure that the token's getting smashed right now. So it might be worth it if they do restructure. It'd be similar to, okay, it's not similar to this, but like Luna actually was never going to come back, and that was very clear. When people were buying on the way down, they're catching a falling knife because like they made more tokens to make up for the token going down. So everybody that's like, oh, it used to be this much money. Well, that was when there's like, a million tokens, and now there's a trillion. Like that's exaggerated numbers, but that's essentially what happened. But like with things like VGX, if it actually does rebound, I could actually see that being a strong rebound.
Yeah, I feel like if they can get people access to their assets, so that people don't lose everything, then trust can be restored, like with a hack where everyone is refunded. But when people lose everything and they are just oh, we are back and we are good, then maybe it will be difficult and takes years for people to forget. Yeah, but on that notice, it could be worth a gamble, but that's definitely no advice from us here.
I had a decent amount on Voyager like 6 months ago, and I took it all off. So not even because of this, because of other reasons. So I'm thankful that I only had some VGX on there.
Yeah. We got Russ Gould asking for some life advice here, or better afterlife advice. I asked Chris once before about securing family if anything happens to the holder. It's a question that never goes away. Difficult one, guys, with a non-IT savvy wife.
Yeah, so I sent a list of instructions to one of my online friends that I really trust, saying that if anything happened to me, I want you to explain this to my wife step by step. And I believe my wife is like tech savvy enough to figure it out, but if not, then I told him to reach out. And I probably should tell more like friends that I have in real life, like like not online, but like I do have that in play, just in case something would ever happen to me.
Yeah, so definitely
when Omi's $10, my wife's got to know how to get it out of that ledger.
That's crazy. And you're like a Randy sitting on 130 million or so. Then this is crazy. Huh? That's definitely what Cavell has to do then to secure for the $10 Omi. So yeah, I also agree there are places to put down an instruction that maybe comes with your will or so.
Yeah.
That explains it step by step where to find stuff, and if obviously it needs to be sealed so that no one can see it. But I think this is the best you can do, and either people can access it then or they can't. But there's also the option to include your wife a little bit in the tech life, and so that she sees it at least, because then it's easier to cope with it once it happens. Yeah.
So she actually made an NFT a couple months ago, and in order to do that, she had to make a MetaMask wallet and upload it to her MetaMask wallet. So that helped because now she's kind of familiar with the process. The NFT was actually a representation for a gift for our London decon up. Or you know how like they're gonna have decon in London coming up in like September. I was actually letting her know that like she wanted to go there for my birthday. So that's a fun little back to Veve related gift. That was kind of cool. We're still kind of unsure just because of everything else right now, but we do have our London decon tickets. Shout out to the Veve UK decon. Yeah.
Maybe many people are going. I cannot, unfortunately, because I have explained that before in a live stream. I need all the days that I can get off from work for visiting the girlfriend's family with my girlfriend in Brazil. So
okay. Oh, dang. So you're in Germany and she's in Brazil?
No, my girlfriend is living with me here, but actually we had a 6.5 year lasting relationship on 2 continents. When I 3 years of that I was living over there and she was visiting, but still it's a very hard time. And that shows also how investing in something pays off after time. Now we're living here, we get to visit the family in Brazil from time to time, but honestly, for a flight that takes almost 20 hours, I'm not going for less than a month.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, but I know many German YouTubers. They are going to London to the decon. Yeah. What's our current sentiment on the OMI token? I think Chris has already given a little bit insight in the beginning. 6 more months in project before the token starts mooning hard. Well, I think the short story to this is once it gets utility, it can moon hard. Before that, it's rather whatever coin.
Regulations are going to matter so much. And so I would say the 2 biggest things that could happen with the token is regulations and then how strong the OUP is. If those 2 things both go in our favor, absolutely, I think OMI can moon hard. Maybe even during a bear market relatively. I'm not saying it's counter to the market, but like relative to the bear market, I think it can still hold strong. If those things do not go in our favor, it could be a different story, like just being realistic, I think obviously I'm not saying this to flood anything, but Luna was a top 5 coin, man. Its structure was awful. Duquan was absolutely a terrible human being who needs to be in jail. But despite all of that, and despite our founders being significantly better, I believe, than Duquan, if a top 5 coin went to 0, I mean, anything could go to 0. Bitcoin could go to 0. I don't think it would. I'm a big Bitcoin believer, but it's just one thing to, kind of have in the back of your head if you're trying to invest your life savings into anything. Is it going to be security? Is OUP going to be strong? We're already witnessing some things in the buybacks, but again, it could go either way. If both of those things are on our side, we could be sitting so nice. If they're both not on our side, then we're still here. We're still fam. We're still enjoying the Veve app. I have plenty of OMI. So I'm speaking with somebody who's holding.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm a little bit more bullish to the future side of it, but right now I also want to be honest. And this token has almost no utility besides being a currency on IMX. That's basically it. And the promise for the token is a burn mechanic. But if you burn a useless coin, it's still a useless coin. So the burns that are being celebrated only are worth something with utility, and the utility, in my opinion, will come only with something like the OMI utility program, and with being a desired currency, because it's the only currency that you can buy certain things with, or that you need to have in order to buy something, which is also why, and maybe you have heard that as well, Reese has commented in one live stream that he also looks at, or that they are also looking at, that you can buy Veve collectibles with for example, Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. Now that is cool for the Veve collectibles, but it worries me because of the OMI token, because why would you need then convert ETH into OMI if you can buy with ETH? So yeah, that's a concern that I have. So yeah, just thank you, Russ, for pointing that out. Respect to us both. Always top content, very educated, well researched. Both your videos always enjoyable and well presented. Thank you, Russ, for the kind feedback. I don't know. In terms of time, Chris, you said you have time for around about an hour. We started a little bit late. Is that still on, or are you already?
So if I can just leave for like 5 minutes and come back, I don't know if that's possible. Then yeah, I'll just do that, and I'll be able to chat for at least another 30 minutes. But I do need to do something for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that I think is completely possible. I think we can entertain us here for the 5 minutes.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'll be back in 5.
Yeah, see you in 5. So I'm going to take it from here for the 5 minutes until Chris is back. So we have some open comments still that I want to address quickly. When KYC for all people, we will still play this game. All people should be on the same level, not like some special people can cash out and some not. Even the fees are so high. Well, that is true, but I even think the KYC is only the step to, obviously, the cash out. Now we have seen that KYC comes along with cash out, and I think there is a big problem that I already addressed in the other live stream that I made 1 week ago, which is basically that cashing out right now for some people opens the opportunity for a huge arbitrage trade where they basically can cash out from their gains from the Veve collectibles and put that into Ecomi, which could also be a reason why Ecomi is holding so strong if some people do that with larger amounts of money. Yeah, the other side is if you are only a holder and you are not looking to this arbitrage and you are not looking to cash out, then it doesn't matter. So it depends, but I see the unfairness in this specific situation. Yeah, so still waiting for all the perks. Supreme leaders in the house. So first of all, as you can see, I'm not hiding in a cornfield, but later I will upload 1 or 2 videos that I shot in the cornfield as it protects me from the wind. So basically that the best utility for OMI is to be a share of Ecomi after the regulation. So Supreme Leader's desire or theory is that Ecomi acts as a company share and probably gives you then share like legal rights, so to attend and influence the decisions of the company. That would obviously be very interesting. Is worth to take a deeper analysis or look into that specific approach. I cannot imagine how this works in the current crypto world, but I also wouldn't discard it as a possibility. In regards to Veve's ban, who's say people won't pay a premium for a specific mint? No, I think it's not. So you're referring to. Oh, sorry. I just pulled it up here. You're referring to the part here where they say basically that as an indicator, it's repeated sales on purchase of collectibles. So Chris has actually pointed that out earlier in the stream, that this repeated is very important because they are not going to flag you, and this is not something that they have said because they have not commented at all on this upgrade on or update on this TOS. But for us, and this is no advice to do it, but for us, it looks like that repeated sales and purchases of such collectibles would flag you. I think if you buy a Spider-Man with your birth date, 500 gems over price, and that is the only purchase, then it will not flag you. But if you buy shipment Mermicornus 5 in a row for each 10k, then this would flag you. So I think this is the distinction that, or the decisive factor here in the TOS. Now, I think that's in itself, I think there's no danger for premium or specific mint, because we have seen already that people put together entire mint collections where they're always looking for the same specific mint number, and that with low mints as well as with high mints, such things like quadruple 8s or 3s or 7s or so I have already seen, and they're putting together sets with this. Jordan says, got KYC and cash out today, got 0.1 ETH just to see it works and everything is perfect. Wow, that's great, Jordan. So how about the fees? Because Simon earlier commented that the fees are unjustified or that they are not good enough. So how much did you pay in fees total? Was it the 10% or did you have other fees on top of this one? Well, yeah, I think I will look quickly onto the comments that we had, because in the beginning when we had the conversation, I might have missed some of those, but I think I covered almost all of them. So sorry for each and every one of you that has made a comment in the chat that didn't get answered. That that happens sometimes, but so Genuine says, don't buy black gems, period. Yeah, so I wouldn't recommend this. I've said it earlier in the stream. I would not do it anymore, since this is in the TOS. If you break the TOS, you get banned. And believe me, you don't want to go through the struggle of the support with a banned account, because my cousin and I, we are trying to get his account back since 8 months. Despite that the support said that they found his account as innocent, and they have that in written, so that there was a written statement that the account was innocent, and they decided to release it. He can still not log into the account. He is still disabled, and even going on higher levels, it's still not possible to get into his account. So he is excluded with this account since 8 months. So don't do it. Don't risk it, even though maybe a lot of people got help from support with banned accounts within hours, but other people are just still out there waiting for help. And these are not all botters or yeah. So that's basically all I can say to this topic. Don't do it. About 10% on the dollar, or a dollar or two more. Okay, so depends obviously on the cash out. Probably you had to cover some gas fees to be able to cash out in ETH. I wonder if it makes a difference if you cash out in BTC or if you cash out in, I think it's USDT Tether that is available. Did you find any other currencies that you have? And Chris, welcome back. We were just chatting. I don't know if you heard it on site. Probably not. We have here Jordan that was able to cash out. He paid roughly 10%.
Yeah, nice.
Dollars in ETH. He cashed out in ETH.
How? Wait, I thought. Oh yeah, you need 1,000 in your account to cash out, but you don't have to cash out 1,000, so that makes sense. At first, I was like, if you cash out $1,000, that's more than 0.1 ETH. But nice, Jordan, congratulations. I KYC'd, but it never really gave me confirmation. Like, it just kind of disappeared after I KYC'd. You know how a lot of people got like the VV verified or whatever? I never got that. It just disappeared. So I'm not sure where I'm at in the process.
What do you? The KYC?
Yeah, I was emailed to KYC and I did it, but it just didn't do anything. Didn't say pending, didn't say verified, didn't say anything.
I'm still missing the invite, so I can. It seems that I'm not sure. Some people in Germany got it, but all the German YouTubers are still, that I know at least, are still waiting for KYC. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there's no one who can actually show the community here in Germany how it's done and how it works. Yeah, but we're getting there, I hope. Supreme Leader had a question before. He wants your opinion on it. He is basically believing in, or has the theory that the best utility for OMI would be a share of OMI or tokenized shares to the
in the
company.
company
So,
of Veve. Yeah, that's a good point.
do you think that's possible? Is that realistic?
I can't think of any example. Maybe Coinbase. No, I can't think of any example where that's happened. But I'm in another project that has that sort of on their roadmap, to where you can like own shares of the company versus the crypto you own. I just don't know like further than that. Like I know what it is, but like I don't know further than that. But they're gonna have to do something with it, you know. Like and like I said, like the OUP could be strong enough to support that, but if the OUP is not good, or we get some type of stronger regulation, maybe something like that would work. Because
Yeah,
I mean, like I
that's a
believe in
very
Veve as a
interesting one.
company, no matter what. So like, yeah, that'd be cool just to transfer my like fractionalize it, like transfer like how many OMI tokens I own compared to everybody else. And that's the percent of the company that I get, you know, even if it's like 0.05% of the company or whatever, but like in like stock terms. But yeah, I've never thought about that.
So that would require the company, and that's also a definition thing, to do an IPO, to go to on the stock market. One thing, and the other thing is which one would be the company? Do we get shares of Veve, of Ecomi, or of Orbis as the mother? So as
Yeah,
so
makes
for the
sense.
structure, so that makes a huge difference if you get
Yeah,
actually tie OMI via shares to Veve. And that would be then the perfect thing would to just launch an IPO as Orbis that holds both of them. But then again, regulatory issues, I don't know.
yeah.
Must be a couple of years in the future, this one. Yeah.
Oh, easy. Like long term, long term.
But that could be then a $10 OMI. No,
Yeah,
I'm just
who
joking.
knows?
Since I don't have KYC, I'm limited to 500. Okay, that one we already had, right? In the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So this he confirms basically that's because of KYC.
Wait,
But
hold on.
maybe
I
he wants me to get this off.
they're not
Okay.
gonna want. They're not gonna. Yeah, they'd rather you buy from the web app, not from the phone
Yeah.
app, because they don't have to eat that 30%.
Yeah. So that this is the cost that they have to cover. So the costs are piling up for them right now. So they want to have the cash in as quick as possible here, in my opinion. But yeah. Okay, so this is on the cash out. This is interesting. And then after that, we could maybe watch the clip of David. I had to upload proof address about 20 times, maybe because it's in Hebrew. But after I got that done, it took about 20 minutes to get approved. Yeah, I think maybe the Hebrew. I don't know if that is written in English, but he says it's in Hebrew, so probably the letters are in Hebrew. And these are really complicated to read, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it didn't take my KYC 2 minutes. I'll tell you that. It was pending for a while, but I didn't have to. I never got offered to redo it, so I guess I passed. I never got confirmation on it, so I have no idea.
Did you already try out the cash out, or is that still disabled for you?
It's still disabled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, maybe we jump one more time into the gem topic, which was actually one of the main topics of the stream. And I'll play a video for the audience. While we do that, we cannot comment on it, but afterwards. So I hope it's still uploaded here. Yes, it is. So hopefully everyone can hear it good. I recorded it with a phone. So yeah, I'll just play it. It takes a couple of seconds and then it's over. So here we go.
All right.
Do keep in mind, we are going to start to look at moving away from allowing users to buy the gems. So you were only able to top up gems at the checkout when you need to pay the balance of difference. So coming up, gems probably going to be quite hard to get hold of if you were just wanting to hold some. The idea is that we want to, only how shall I say, only for you to able to top up gems when you require to pay the balance difference.
Welcome to the stream, dog. You're still muted. You're still muted.
I said she's scared. It's storming around the house.
He was on. Okay. Yeah, I saw you while we played the clip of David. I saw you lifting up the dog. So
she's like right up on
heavy,
me.
huh?
So yeah, she's a pretty medium-sized girl.
Yeah, basically, guys, if you like the dog on the stream, smash up the likes. Also
yeah, for
subscribe
sure.
to the channel.
Like for the dog.
Yeah, exactly. So don't buy Dogecoin for that. Just joking. But yeah, I've not said that throughout the whole hour. So if you could give the stream a like, then you help the algorithm. You help us here to get this stream out, some valid information out to people, and yeah, I would appreciate that. Now, going to this video of us not being basically able to purchase gems pre-drop, pre-acting in the market. What is your take on that? Is that good, bad?
Yeah, my initial reaction was that that's awful. Because like I feel like the biggest people that are going to get hurt by that is like the average user that like is trying to save up for something nice but they can't just like slowly accumulate. So yeah, I don't like that idea, and I don't like the idea of like if you do want to just like hold gems because it's a reactionary market. So like I like to have a stack of gems to react, to do things quickly instead of when everybody else is doing it. So in order to build up gems, I'm gonna have to have 2 forced transactions. I'm gonna have to well, the original transaction is me buying a collectible from somebody else, and then it's me selling it to somebody else, which includes an 8.5% fee typically. So I'm forced that fee on that transaction and then the withdrawal fee. So 8.5% plus a 10% withdrawal fee. I'm already at 18.5%. Plus, if I did it in crypto, that's another 10%. Depending on the fees, they factor that in. So it's not an extra percent if you do crypto, but like you have to pay the gas fee, so it could equate that. So I don't like that aspect of it. But after talking for hours and hours about the subject, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, especially in the future, because I think more and more people will be buying once we have the option. I hope this comes after the option to buy crypto. So like after we are able just to buy with Ethereum, buy with OMI, buy with whatever. And for the record, I don't think a lot of people will be buying with OMI right now because who's going to want to sell OMI at a loss or to buy something, which is essentially selling it at a loss when they bought it up here. Now they're going to buy it down here with something. So I don't think that's plausible right now. But I think in the future, more people are going to be buying with OMI and Ethereum. And I think whales are just going to buy what they want anyways. So like, they're not going to have to like have all these gems to sit on like the average person. If they see something they want for 10 grand, they're just going to buy it. I think my computer just died or my cam. Yeah, I can change it. I have a backup. But yeah, if that makes sense. That distracted me a little bit, but if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense, and I agree with you that even though it might be for another purpose, it affects the average user, and the Veve app in the end is made for the normal customer. So if there are collectibles that are desired by a super fan of the Darth Vader or so, and this, I think this cam also died or whatever.
Nah, this one's plugged in. I don't know why I did that. But.
And this guy, let's see, Darth Vader, it's a couple of weeks in the future, Darth Vader is at 3K or 4K. Your credit card limit is at, let's say, 2K. And then what will you do? You cannot just say, okay, I just DCA into gems. And after a while, I pull the trigger. So without crypto to NFT, as you said, it's then basically impossible for the average user to buy at higher prices, even though they would after a while, which then affects also basically puts a price limit on these collectibles and needs a whale to basically move the price then from there on. Yeah.
Somebody in the comments said it's anti-money laundering. My only thing with that is like we're gonna be forced to KYC if we want to like react in the market anyway, so they're gonna know who we are. So like I do see. I mean, I know there's reasons for it. I'm not saying there's no reason. I would have to guess that it's a security thing, you know, like we were talking about earlier. Like they don't want people using stolen credit cards or whatever methods they can use for bad actors can use. This prevents a lot of it, and it prevents them from really getting in a bind to where like now they owe, or the whole debacle that happened a few months ago with the fake gems and stuff. Like it prevents that from happening.
Well, that's a good question. I think it depends on how the end situation of everything will look like. Do we have crypto to buy NFTs? Do we have other, at least a stable coin or so that we can use instead that doesn't that is not part of Veve, but that basically can be connected also, so that we can maybe connect MetaMask or to bring a stable coin in. So maybe there are some measures, but I see, maybe this is just a thought. Even if we don't see the point, maybe the anti-money laundering laws of New Zealand or whatever country said basically in an audit that there are audit preparations, right? So maybe they said, hey, look, if you want to fulfill these laws, you have to do this, and that. Get rid of your in-game currency, let's say, in a sense, or make it whatever with less mechanics to exploit. Maybe it's this. Maybe they also don't see the point, but they have to fulfill it. I mean, how often does that happen, that the government and regulators suggest stupid stuff that doesn't help the cause but affects the project, or the company in this sense? Yeah.
This would also have to affect the secondary prices of gems, like the off market. I mean, not that we talked about earlier, not that you can or you're supposed to transact, but like, why would, like, if you just wouldn't be able to buy more? I kind of lost my train of thought on that. Like, if the gems become more rare, essentially they're going to be worth more on the secondary market. I joked around about one gem equaling one Bitcoin because they're going to be more rare and harder to get.
Yeah, someone said that they are just stacking gems because now they will be super valuable, but in the end, I think the objective is to peg the gem to $1, so that what's inside the app can always be reused with the same value of what. I don't know if that still works when crypto is in, and if someone would then still use gems. But on the other hand, it's for retail, so retail collectors should be able to buy, and therefore you need a currency where they can load fiat in, and they will never, like my mother, my uncle, whoever, like there are a lot of people that are using the Veve app, they have no experience with crypto. They will never be able to do a crypto transaction into the app via MetaMask wallet or whatever. So I don't see it yet.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's the way to peg the gem once to $1, which was supposed to be pegged all along, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, so and it's probably going to be like, it'll always be like 0.9 to $1 because of fees. But I mean, the point still stands. It's pretty much 1 to $1. And then depending on like where you live.
Yeah. And I think you made a video about this. I think this was your first, or not the first, but of these last 5 videos. The first one is the bearish video, where you're basically referring to how the price is being influenced by the theoretical amount of gems that are within the app. And then I think you explained that, but to quickly sum that up, if we participate in a drop, that money, the gem gets broken, the money goes out of the app. If we pay fees, the gem gets broken, the equivalent of these fees gets broken up and goes to the licensor and to Veve in equivalence to the percentage. So if you would just not load up gems into the app, the amount of gems available in the app is lower and lower and lower, and with high addition sizes, it gets lower faster. So that also leaves less gems, but the gem is still $1, so the gem price doesn't increase for more scarcity of gems, which means that the gems are concentrating on high value drops and the rest is declining in price. That's
exactly.
Is that
nailed it? Yeah, perfect summation.
Okay. So do you think that still exists in the scenario that we have right now? So without the OFFAPP, because the OFFAPP recycling of gems contributed to things, I think.
Yeah,
And
mixed in with people not being able to cash out until this point. So like they're sitting in this large stack of gems that kind of they had constant FOMO all the time of like I see it all the time. I've had it myself. Like you're sitting on this like stack, and if that was like able to be realized by a lot of people, they would have realized it. But for them, it's almost still fake internet money. So like they're just kind of sitting on it. They see something, they get tempted, and then they spend it. That's not going to be a thing as much anymore moving forward if you're not able to preload gems, because I guess except for the users who are here beforehand, it's going to be a lot harder to be sitting on a couple thousand gems because you're not able just to buy them and sit on them.
Yeah. And people that are knowing this and that have loaded up massively, like a Dr. Profit or so, maybe, do they have an advantage now? Let's say tomorrow you're suddenly not able.
Yeah. Yes, I think they do. I said that in the group that I'm in. I was like, if this is any type of bullish, it's for the people who are already here now and already have a stat. Not even Dr. Profits, me and you. You know, if you have even like a small stack of gems, that's kind of advantageous towards a reactionary market when other people can't take advantage of it. So like, I guess you could like, okay, another thing. Hopefully they fix this, but like, I've never been able to buy a collectible then load up gems. It always bugs for me. Like every time they always said, "Oh, it's fine, you can do that." No, I've never been successful with that. So moving forward, it's like one person might be able to do that, not do that, and I'll be the one that has the gems to do it, and I'll just scoop it instead. You know, like, but like that's surely they'll fix that. And you know, at the end of the day, that was like one sentence that David said. There could be 100 things around it. There could be other things that they're releasing to balance it out, and it could be months, it could be a year or longer before they even implement that. Doesn't mean that it's like right around the corner. So a lot of this is speculation.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. What else do we have here? Maybe they could implement only preload 1K gem every 24 hours. They could, but with the status that the app has right now, you would basically block the inflow of gems, and then you have the same problem that I outlined before, that basically with every drop you would drain the app from gems and lower the prices of the collectibles, which results in, let's say, temporary less value for us. I mean, for me, it's like I'm not a flipper like you. I'm sitting on my stack of collectibles that I liked. Some of these, yes, I took profit and rebought, but not a flipper. I'm looking at long term.
You just gotta watch my video yesterday.
Sorry?
I said you just gotta watch my video I put yesterday. That's all you gotta do.
So basically, you have a guideline how to flip.
I put some things out there, but I
watched that. Didn't was that you told about the Loki where you bought it and then okay, so I
super obvious play.
I'm going to I'm super nervous, and I'm not my mind says but what if it goes lower and this and that, so I'm I'm the as my name is PatientHodler in the one sense, but
stick to your name.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sticking to the name, but on the other hand, if I would try it, and I should, because it's probably the better strategy, if I would try it, I would probably be too impatient to execute
I've sold things too early. I've sold things too late. You know, it's at the end of the day, everybody has a different game plan. I listed my Todd for 10K in January, and the price was like just about there, and I got convinced by everyone to delist. And Todd's gonna go be 20K, 50K, 100K, you know, and I'm just like, look, man, 10K to me is a lot of money. You know, I'm just gonna take my profit. And eventually, I got talked out of it, and Todd's at like 2.4K now. So, you know.
So you could have rebought 4 Todds right now.
Could have rebought 4, and that's what people don't get is like it doesn't. Sometimes it might. But it doesn't always mean that you're not bullish on the collectible. It just means that like you want a better bang for your buck. So yeah, I could have bought 4 Todds for the price of that one Todd that I would have sold. Realistically, what I would have probably done is kept half the money in gems, used that for other things, and then yes, I would have rebought Todd later. But
I think the play here is, and someone said, I don't know who said that, so I cannot give credit, but someone said you should have, even from the bigger pieces, try to get 2, so it's easier to take profits on those and hold one to write it down again just to have it. Obviously,
easy,
it's hard
sure.
to get 2 pots, right?
Yeah.
But some collectibles like golden moments right now, it's easy to get 2 of them or 3 of them, and then you can
David has the
scale
rule
out.
of 3.
Yeah. A good friend of mine said once, and I like this very much, there's no one who ever lost in taking a profit, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, David's rule of 3, which by the way, I got taught off the market, so I only paid 70 for it. But David's rule of 3 is buy 3, 1 to flip, so hopefully get that initial investment back for all 3. 1 to decide what you want to do with later, whether you want to sell it, if it just skyrockets, or you still want to hold it and collect it, and then 1 to hold forever. And that's not David's, like, he didn't make that, but that was one of the first times I heard it, and it makes so much sense. But obviously, buying 3 of these like high value collectibles isn't in everybody's reach. You know, like you couldn't have got 3 wallets for under 2K. So like, I mean, it's a hard ask to say, hey, just spend 6K, you know, so you can get 3. But on something like Loki, man, Loki last week, you could have got 3 at an average of $11, $12 a pop, and you could have flipped 1 and got most of your investment back, still be holding another one, and then 1 to keep. And that, I mean, that was an FA of a very popular character in the MCU, so it just made sense.
Yeah, so I have developed a little strategy that I want to only fill with a little side money, but let me know what you think about the following. So I've been looking at the comics, even the ones that are technically garbage, but are listed for 192 gems. And I've been buying some of these like 10, 20. And my thought is either I can double, triple, quadruple my money on these. And if not, I'm going to just burn them when for points once the OUP is coming out, and either that or the other development benefit me. So that was basically my thought.
It makes sense. For sure makes sense. I do the same thing, but I usually try to pick like comics that at least have like some type of, like, I could see the value. Like, I'm trying to think. Again, I'm not a huge comic person, but there's some low value comics on the app right now that I've been like, the Sergeant Fury is one of them. That's pretty cheap, very expensive in real life comic. Strange Academy is not like a very expensive comic in real life, but like Doctor Strange is huge, man, and I could see like, you know, things in the future. There's just some random ones like that I stack and kind of have a similar game plan for.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me also fits in this in such a strategy that, I mean, right now the exclusive covers for Veve are underrated, but I feel if they go to these Comic Cons and real diehard collectors find out that there are covers out there that are officially Marvel licensed that they don't have, I might see them coming in just to get these as well, to add them to their collection.
Yeah, that's smart. You know, they'll be at the San Diego Comic-Con in a couple weeks, and that'll be some great connections.
Wow. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to all of your reports once you have been there. What you see.
I'm hoping to go, dude. Tickets are so expensive. Like just the tickets to the event are like, if you get a good deal, it's like $1,000.
Oh man, what?
Yeah,
$1,000?
Yeah,
you might as well buy a secret rare, a big one.
Just to get a ticket to the event, not counting the plane over there and everything.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, the Gale is on the channel here as well.
Shout out to the Gale.
The Gale.
I watched his video. I watched one of his videos last night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I watched every video of the Gale in the beginning when the first so I joined the app when the Marvel comics came out, because
Nice.
my cousin told me, hey, you have to get on the app because they are dropping Spider-Man first, and I was lame. I don't know, man. I didn't come to the app, and then with the comics he got me. So he's like, yo, this is the first comic. I came to the app. So I watched the Gale all the time on these drops because I had no clue what the heck I was doing. And then also he was in the Twitter space. I remember he was motivating the content creators in this very dark drop phase in the VV app, in the crypto space, to keep on grinding and putting out content. So yeah, really
OG.
great to really great. Yeah, so you're the OGs. We hopefully can call ourselves that after a while as well, the ones that came in with the Marvel stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're all early.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he said trust your instincts, major key. So I agree to an extent. Some part is reason, but yeah, you also got to trust your instincts. And your instinct was to list that Todd. So
it was.
Any thoughts on the up and coming soon MCP program? I've been buying some rare comics in hopes of positioning myself for the future MCP program. What do you think?
I think MCP is going to be great, dude. One thought I had the other day about it that I shared in a Twitter space is that it's not talked about a lot, and they mentioned it forever ago, so hopefully they don't go back on it. But you should be able to buy accessories for your collectibles with MCP points, so it kind of gamifies it. And dude, I think that could be really cool to utilize it correctly. See, there's an example I can think of right now is like CyberKongs. It's a pretty OG NFT project. So you can upgrade your characters, not your original Kongs, but like another character. Like in this game, of course, like VV's game, I think it's gonna be a lot better. But like you can upgrade your characters in this game, but you don't have to realize them on chain yet, because when you realize something on chain, you got to pay that transaction fee. So like, say we're integrated with Immutable X, and like you're being able to sell collectibles like interoperable like on Immutable X. It'd be really cool to like have like buy these accessories, hopefully some are rare, limited, with your MCP points, and then later realize those like differences that you made to your collectible on chain. That way you could sell it for a premium on like Immutable X. Like, if that makes sense. So like if I wanted like to buy like a new cape for my Todd, or like a new bat cow for my Todd, whatever it is, you know, that was rare and that cost me a lot of MCP points. It would be cool if I could like realize that in the metadata if I wanted to, if I chose to, because it's my collectible, and then later be able to like sell that, you know, again at whatever premium people are willing to pay for that. I think that'd be a really good idea. I don't even know if VV has thought about that, but like it's definitely like a possible fun speculation that they could do.
Yeah, so definitely they have thought. It's an interesting idea. They have definitely thought about accessories in that sense, because I mean, the whole thing with the glass bowl when Deadpool loses the shirt and stuff like that shows at least that there are layers to these collectibles, to some of them at least, where accessories can be a part of. And I can just not imagine that with all that they have been planning. What we are seeing right now has been planned years ago. So I figured that they have at least kept that in mind as well, to be able to extend these use cases of the collectibles, of maybe collectibles are avatars, I don't know, for future metaverse use or whatever. So yeah, I can see that.
I think it's also cool to like wager your MCP points for drops, you know, once they move on to like the new drop system. And I think MCP points is going to be cool because it's going to gamify the app to an extent. And it's going to give some type of reward to those who have been like holding their collectibles for a long time and who have been like active in the market and who have been here. Because like right now, the only reward you get is if you have gains. You know, obviously you could realize those if you wanted to, but besides that, there's no actual incentive directly from VV. The MCP is going to introduce that incentive. And we've had airdrops too, so I guess that's an incentive, but that's more so from the artist.
Yeah, I think MCP in general is super interesting because I know from other games and so how important leaderboards are, how important badges are. I mean, everyone who has played World of Warcraft or any other game that holds achievements that have been added in World of Warcraft with the second extension in the end.
Atro did a good job at that, by the way, at leaderboards and like app functionality and friends list and stuff like that. Like, I think VV is going to start working on their app functionality now once they get all the payout rolled out. Because let's be honest, like that's what everybody cared about, is like payout first. So now that we're going to have like global payout, I think app functionality hopefully comes midterm. There might be a few more important things ahead of that, but like VV app functionality sucks, dude. Like I was like trying to look for like Kripkins today actually, because I was gonna like do something with my video on it. It took me like 5 minutes to find the Kripkins tab. You know, like there just needs to be better. You know, I can't even respond to people very easily on the app if they comment on one of my posts. You know, it's just until recently you couldn't really search individuals. It's just like there's a lot of things to work on for app functionality, and I'm hoping that's going to be like sooner than later. Just more time on the app, man. Like if people are spend more time on the app, they can monetize themselves more, and they'll be talking about the app more because they'll be spending more time on it. Right now, my main times on the app is like drops, and if I get really bored, I'll try to snipe. But I don't really build my vaults like a lot, like the Vaultaholics, which they do an amazing job of. And I don't spend a ton of time looking at my collectibles. I do sometimes, and I'll sometimes like show my friends and family stuff, but like they really need to incentivize people to like daily want to get on the app for other reasons besides like drops or flipping, you know.
Which will come with MCP, because then you get points for doing activities which will benefit you in the drop. But also, yeah, I think it's a very valid point, because we want to have users use the app all the time, like every free part of the time that they can do something on the app, which kind of brings them to the front or more engaged. I used a lot the AR functionality within photos when I meet people that don't know Veve, just to explain to them how cool a 3D collectible that is licensed when you put it somewhere. Like I used the T-Rex to show that, and the Vader. So I don't have an Ultra Vader, but a common one at least. So people were impressed, because they only, when they hear NFTs, they think of a monkey JPEG, right? So they are impressed by when they really see what it is on Veve. And that said, that we that are on Veve, we are not impressed. We're actually a little bit scared if we see how the app looks after this, and some people are talking about building a metaverse, right? So yeah.
I wanted to show you. I mean, even my dad, who is like approaching his 60s, sent me this. Can I share? Yeah. Okay. Even I can. Even my dad sent me this the other day, and it's just so cool. You know, he sent me the picture of him with my nieces. I scratched their faces out because it's not my kids, so I don't want to like, dox my nieces. But like, yeah, he sent me like pictures of like them playing with Stitch, and like I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, and actually that is because like Stitch is now in this photo. Imagine a world 3 years from now where Disney Plus stories that are coming from a screen, you get some goggles or so, and the story happens with your NFTs in the room. So I can totally see that in a couple of years. Sure. Yeah, but I see we had some questions, but we're already 1.5 hours in. So sorry, guys, if we don't get into each of them. There will be other live streams coming up. And actually the whole topic about NFT pride and stuff like that, we will cover that in another episode.
I don't mind talking about it real quick if you want to. I mean, I'm not afraid to speak my mind on things.
I thought you were on a little bit limited time.
Yeah,
but
I am. But I mean, we could address what's there already.
Okay, then let's get this as a final topic and question up here. Yo-Yo asked or said, what is the community going to do about the Pride 2? Opening the NFT, keep forcing the app close, still no Givenchy, still non-pixel version, no non-pixel version, which people paid lots of money for. Yeah, I let you take it first.
Yeah, so I mean, like I think they should fix it. Like, so it was originally advertised as the version they currently have. Although once dropped on the app, it was a different version. So like people could have seen on the app, like, oh, this looks even better than I thought, and they could have spent way more money for it. They could have spent $500, $600, 700 gems on it. Now knowing what it looked like on the app. So I definitely think they should compensate those users in some way or revert it back. Now the problem is, I guess, like maybe it's up to the licensors whether they allow them to convert it back, so they can't do anything. And I don't know how realistically they're going to differentiate the users who bought it off of speculation versus those who like genuinely bought it because they like the product. Like a lot of times, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even look at collectibles and comics. I buy them and because I know the value of it, and I don't look at like the collectible itself. So like for instance, I bought the flag. I didn't pull the flag up in AR and look all around it before I bought it. I just bought it because I was like, this is probably gonna go up, and it did. So it's gonna be really hard to differentiate those, like who bought it because they saw the product and they bought for the product versus who bought it based off of speculation and trying to volume trade, which would probably be me. I didn't mess with that one particularly though. So it's hard to say. Like, so if I had to take a stand, he said, YouTubers need to take a stance like Dino did. Like, one, it's hard for me to take a stance because I don't have any personal opinion on it. But like, if I had to take a stance, like, I think I would love if they could just revert it back. But if that's impossible, I don't have another solution. Like, do you? Do you have another solution? Because like, I don't know what to. It wouldn't make sense to be like they need to refund everybody again because people bought off of speculation, good and well. Not everybody bought because they liked the way the animation looked. But for those people that did buy because of that at premium prices, yeah, I would love that they were compensated somehow. I just don't know how.
Okay, so actually, Yo-Yo, if you haven't seen it, I made a video on this one, and I took a stance. I think it's a big problem, and it's way beyond only losing money on the secondary market, because it has several layers. The first one is obviously, it was advertised, as you said, as a pixelated version, then it dropped as another version, and then it changed to a pixelated version. So first of all, I think Veve is missing a big opportunity in changing these after the drop, even if something went wrong, because nothing is more appealing to a collector than a misprint or a misdrop or something like that. So if you would drop a version like this that even looks good, people are impressed, and you would just sorry guys, but that was a mistake, but we have to leave it like that because it's a non-fungible, non-immutable asset, then I think they should leave it like that. Even with the heart was missing the glare effect. I think the flag, the banner as well, and they added it afterwards. Why not say, okay, it was advertised with glare, we made a mistake, it's a misprint. Only labeling it as that, probably very valuable. And then they even could say, hey, we drop it again with the glare.
The heart looked pretty bad.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, like in the app versus what was advertised on the heart, it looked pretty bad.
But I mean, the Pokemon cards that are like, they are half cut off, they are cramped, there's something printed on top. These are the most valuable ones that you can get. Because they are so rare, because of now that the whole drop is like this and not only a couple of those.
He said an airdrop for a non-pixel version. The only problem with that is you're diluting supply now. So like the supply literally 2x's overnight. That actually make your collectible less valuable. So, and Vibes is saying that's a gray area for people that want to like get their money back, Veve giving money back, and I agree. Yeah. That's why I don't think the solution is just a reimbursement of gems. I don't know what it is, because like I don't think an airdrop is necessarily the answer either, because you're diluting supply. Maybe an airdrop of something else, but then that's kind of like a band-aid on the problem. I don't have a solution. I mean, it's a problem because it was advertised, or it was a problem because it dropped as one thing and then it changed to another. I don't know the solution.
Well, it is hard, but what worries me more is not the circumstance of this and the refunding, but that it's actually possible to remodel and redesign the data files that are attached to the non-fungible token, which also means that technically someone could decide to remodel the partner statue into a little block.
Yeah, but that's been known for a long time. Like they've done that on a lot of collectibles, like over the past year. I think Ritmo was the first one, even though that was more so he just animated. Who was it? One of the Starfire, I think it was completely remodeled over the first purchase. So my argument to that, I agree. However, a lot of NFTs that are even on ETH, they're just data, like chains that point back to an IPFS of an image. So those can actually be changed too if they're not totally on chain. There are NFTs on the on chain that can't be changed because they're completely decentralized. those are more rare than you think. Matter of fact, like I want to say even the whole like Bored Ape controversy of like you can't steal an NFT, the writer rips if people keep up with that. I believe apes even point back to an image of an IPFS. So even the apes could technically be changed by Hugo Labs. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty, if not that, then Macy can be. But the point stands, like that's not like a totally unreal thought in the rest of the NFT space too. The problem is that they're actually doing it. You know, like they're actually they're actually like going through and changing it, because they are essentially like changing the asset that you bought, even if it's better to them or to anybody. Like even if the majority of people think it's better, there's still people that probably just want what they bought, even if it was the worst image.
Well, I mean, it could have the same implications of people selling an NFT because they think it looks bad, and then it gets an upgrade and they wish they wouldn't have sold it. Like, imagine.
Yeah.
So that's probably the reason why people stack Electra, because they think that at some point Electra will be modified to the good-looking Electra, and then suddenly will be worth way more. And I think this is one of the bigger problems, because you have a collectible, a product is even on a chain that says immutable, and then it changes and it's suddenly worth more, and before you sold it for less. And I think the outrage, they don't do it in the meta or in the manner yet where the outrage would be too bad, but for me this is something that is, at least I want clarity on that, how far they would go and how far they can go with this. And the other side is, which also happened with the same drop, is the metadata. So we don't know yet what exactly is written in the metadata and what not. But it definitely shouldn't be possible to change certain things in the metadata after a drop, because it's set on the muted scan. I think you can see that it has been minted, but that's all. There's a token ID, a time of minting, and basically that's the ID, the address to what it was minted. Yeah.
I'm if you want me to pull it up, I'll show you. So the metadata, let's see, so the metadata on Veve sucks. This is on a Mutascan. You can see the tokens minted, you can see the unique owners, all that fun stuff. But if you actually go to the transaction, this is all we have on the metadata. So I actually have a solution to this. But you could see the mint date, the wallet that it went to and from, token address. But when it gets to token image, there's nothing. And when it gets to token ID, it just shows the ID, which like it doesn't match up with anything. The RE are 721s, which is a standard for NFTs. So my solution to the problem that we're in right now is that if we have better metadata, that's a big if. And they actually announced in one of the AMAs that they would upgrade the metadata, that was on their roadmap. Then just make it to where the metadata doesn't change. So like, let's take Pride 2, make it to where you buy the image of that Pride 2 in the metadata and that never changes, but they have every ability, if they wanted to change it over the Veve app. That way, if you left it in Veve, technically they could change it. Now, like ideally, we don't want them changing it, but at the end of the day, if we took that off of Veve and put it somewhere else, it would always be the same thing. What we bought will be the same thing. But like if Veve wants to animate it, if they want to change the looks of it or whatever, it's their app, so they can, they can do so. But on the metadata, you know what you bought from the time it started, you know what you're going to have, and you know that's not going to change. So I think once they upgrade the metadata, that could fix this problem, because you're going to have a still image of what it should look like, which again, going back to my point earlier, it could still be data that points back to an image. So technically they could even change that unless it's all built on chain, but it would still be a better solution to all of this.
Yeah, very interesting. I actually didn't know that also the images of, for example, the Bored Apes could be so that they're technically changeable. But with the metadata, I think they have mentioned that they wanted to include such things like the total supply of that specific collectible. Also the remaining supply somehow at least displayed in the Veve app. So that these are things that could be very interesting. I don't know if the remaining supply can be in the metadata because it varies with burning, but yeah.
You can change the like the supply count. I do want to just restate that, like, I could be wrong on the apes, but my point stands with 90% of NFT projects out there that it's a file, or it points back to the file where it's uploaded, and that is controlled by a central entity like Moonbirds, which is selling for 30 ETH. And again, I think like I'm like almost positive that the Bored Ape the mutant apes are the same way, and I even think the original apes are. But if I'm wrong about the apes, my point still stands towards most of the projects out there. It's more so a string of data pointing to a file. It's not the image itself that's the NFT.
Interesting. Yeah. Vivi Vibes says, I don't think Vivi is going to upgrade old collectibles for a long time. Until they can likely hire a sizable team dedicated to just overhauling old collectibles, it won't happen for a while. The question is, I don't know if you agree with Vivi Vibes, but just one thing came to my mind directly, and that is the Necronomicon, which was, I think, in the app for a longer time, and suddenly it got animated.
Yeah. That and Ritmo is the same way. But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I think, well, animated is a little different because at least it gets to like keep its like original form. But like, I think as long as it's on the VV app, technically their app, like they can choose to animate it or whatever. But if they could just give us something else, you know, like more clear metadata of what we're buying, if we ever decided to take it off of VV, like that would be great.
Yeah.
It's weird that VV can change their bags overnight. I'm not gonna lie. Like again, like even like for the good, like people that one guy that's known for stacking Electros right now because he's banking that VV is gonna change it. It's just a weird thing. It's a weird. I don't know. Like it doesn't sit great with me. But I mean, I would like Electro to be changed, but maybe there's somebody out there that loves Electro the way she is. I doubt there's somebody out there like that, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, probably not the best example in that sense, but there are others like Tor or so where the face is not optimal. Maybe they give it a remodel and someone doesn't like it anymore because screaming doesn't look like it used to, some diehard fan. But yeah, I agree with you. It's weird to know that, and obviously we should assume that they change things for the better, but not for everyone. This for the better is really the better choice. So yeah,
well, like you said, is for misprints. Like misprints are usually worth more, but in actual collectibles and comics, if you buy a misprint, you're not going to be able to change that. You know, like that's what you have. Yeah. So they're basing it off of like real collectibles and comics. It's kind of weird thing.
That would be very interesting. What if they would overhaul Elektra and they would give everyone the choice to stick with the old skin or to go with a new one? So therefore, you would split this drop into two versions, basically.
I think that's the best solution I've heard yet. I've heard somebody say that before, but I think that's the best solution I've heard yet. Somebody else said like a switch that flips it on and off. I don't know. But again, that goes to the first argument is I wonder if the licensor is in charge of saying we didn't want that one, you know, and like basically not allowing VV to do it, because then we're kind of at square one.
Yeah, but then you would have kind of this. Maybe few people decide for the old Elektra, and suddenly it's worth a lot because it's so scarce.
Yeah, like, if you had to pick and choose, and you have like only like 50 people choose the old one. Yeah, now that'd be great.
This would be the 3D chess for the guy that stacks Elektra, who he would just choose all the old version for his stack. Everyone assumes that the new version.
He could go 50-50 with that kind of stack.
Also, if you have a stack of two, you could go one on, one off, or so. So yeah. This is also a beauty with the comic covers. There are probably no changes at all for all those comics because they are artwork. They are there. No one will repaint it. So yeah.
Well, except for that time they released, what was it, the Halloween Fantastic Four, and it accidentally came out to be a Captain America cover. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So that would be a perfect example for leaving a misprint in the run.
Yeah. I think I bought that one on speculation, actually.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I did. I don't remember.
Yeah, which would be, if they leave it in, it would have been
very exactly.
smart. Yeah. Great. Okay. So I think we call it a day here. It sure as hell was a super interesting conversation with you.
Yeah, absolutely,
Also
man.
because, yeah. And well, thank you for giving us also the insights into your business, what you're doing, and also that you are working with NFTs, because that always gives a bigger background. And yeah, I hope I can have you again on the stream in some time in the future. Thank you for
Absolutely.
taking the
Glad to
time
be
and
back.
also for coming in 1 hour earlier than I said. And to all of you in the chat, thank you for the amazing participation. 56 people here. Smash up the like before you go, please, so that we get the algo. And everyone we didn't answer to, sorry. Everyone who donated, thank you. And yeah, with that said, do you have any final words, closing words, or?
Not really. Thanks for having me on. And like you said, shout out to everybody who was in chat, super active. I appreciate you guys being here with all the questions. It's fun. I like talking about this type of stuff. You know, a lot of people that I know in person don't care about this. So kind of getting a face-to-face conversation about it is nice, you know, so I appreciate you having me on for the interview.
Yeah, always. And make sure to check out his channel, Chris Coffee and Crypto, if you haven't yet. Subscribe to him as well. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And see you in the next live stream.